My name is Chris Olson, and this is my summary reflection for AEP 873. The world is obviously changing. Technological systems have made so much possible that was considered Orwellian fantasy in the 90s, and Google is just one of those cases. I came into this course being quite familiar with Google and the G Suite. I've been using the G Suite, formerly Google Apps for Education, or GAF, since my second year of teaching in 2013-14. Through the years, I have switched from learning the system for my own uses to being able to help new users become familiar with the various systems that comprise the G Suite. Because of its ease of use, I've also successfully encouraged my department at my new school to make the switch to Google Classroom and Google Drive, along with all of its programs during my first year in the building in 2016-17. Now that they've had a few years of experience, my entire department is completely on board with using Google products. They love it. They're at the stage where they can start to teach others how to use it. And I knew that a lot of this course was going to be kind of a review for me or a little bit of a refinement of knowledge. But I knew I had a pretty good background in G Suite prior to coming into this course. For the most part, I was correct. A lot of what we completed in this class, I already had a lot of experience with because of my years of using the products. But it was eye-opening to look at a couple of the newer systems that I never really looked at before. Google Keep and Tasks were new things for me, and while I understand the uses for them, they really haven't impacted me too much because I tend to use the calendar option to keep track of upcoming events. I'm pretty good about keeping task lists in my head, so I haven't really had need of it. But that being said, I do know that these things can be really useful for some people. And so I have shared those systems with my students since I learned about them, because while they might not really benefit me currently, maybe in the future they will, they could be a really big benefit for my current students. But probably the biggest takeaway for me was the ease of collaboration that the system offers. I've long used G Suite programs to allow my students to collaborate on projects and also to work on planning documents for class with my colleagues. But this has always been in a more of a closed setting where students can talk to each other as they work. My fellow teachers and I can discuss items in person as we are working on them. So when we were tasked with collaborating on a big group project, I was a little nervous on how it would all work out. I initially started to look at getting all of my group members together on a Google Meet so that we could discuss strategy, have that FaceTime to determine a course of action since we lived in different states. Little did I realize how easy it would be to collaborate with each other without the need for a set meeting time. One of my group members set up a Google Doc with planning information for all the components for the group project, and we all contributed to it and determined roles right on that document. The need to actually meet face-to-face with Google Meet never arose. Through that Google Doc and Gmail correspondence, we were able to completely assign tasks much easier and more efficiently than I had ever imagined possible. It really made me realize the impact that these collaborative programs are capable of having. My experience with this course has made me question what my next steps are. Since I was completing the Google Education Certification Level 1 as part of this course, it made me start to look at the higher levels of certification. Next semester is my last semester at FHSU, and I think after graduation, I plan to continue to try to evolve my knowledge of the G Suite system, and I want to look at taking on more responsibilities by working to obtain my Level 2 certification, as well as look to become a certified trainer and or coach. The innovator certification also looks really interesting, but that might be a couple of the years down the road yet. I've already had the experience of helping to train others in the use of G Suite, and it could be really beneficial to have that instructor tag as well so that I can provide even more help to the other staff in my building or in the county as a whole, or even beyond my district. If I can get an opportunity to teach training courses at the local community college or even through various workshops to help others learn how they can use the G Suite, it would be worthwhile. I have long been a proponent for using Google products and systems in education, with the idea of taking my use of G Suite to a higher level where I can help teach others about its uses. I think it is also important to start exploring ways in which I can really expand on its use within my own classroom. For the most part, I've always used it for in class uses, but never really looked much at outside collaboration. Yes, I can teach other professionals and will more easily be able to do so if I progress in my certification level. But I think another key that I want to start working on is getting my students to realize the full potential of these systems by setting up and designing units and assignments that allow them to collaborate with students or professionals outside of the school or outside of the state or possibly even the country. This would require some planning, as I would have to have the correct unit of study and find someone who either A, covers the same material in another part of the state, country, or world, or B, find professionals that are willing and able to volunteer their time to help my students create a deeper connection to the content. I came into this class thinking I had a pretty solid understanding of the G Suite. The class has taught me some new nuances to the system that I really think I should explore moving forward. I've always liked helping others switch to the G Suite system, as I think and have been told by many that once they figure out the basics, it makes their job as an educator easier. But this course showed me that I can take that desire to help others learn the system and really start to work towards that goal in a different way by continuing my Google certification pathway. I also think this course has shown me how powerful of a collaboration tool G Suite can truly be. And as we start looking at writing curriculum for our new semester classes for next school year, I really want to find a way to incorporate some of that long distance collaboration into the curriculum, as that is something that many businesses around the world already do. This alteration could make a big difference in student engagement as well as help to prepare them for situations like this in the professional world. It was a really good course to be a part of. I know Google is constantly innovating, and while I might have a really good grasp on things right now, much like learning keeping tasks was something new for me. I know that possibly tomorrow they might release something new, and I'm going to have to start that learning process all over again. But that's one of the keys of being an educator is that you've always got to be willing to strive to continue to learn, to continue to innovate, and to try to better yourself because by doing so, you create a more engaging environment for your students.